So I think what we'll do this, so I think Debbie shared with you, this video will be shown in two capacities. The first for our Heritage program in May, and then the second will be for our year-end campaign. We'll feature you as donors and individuals who are sharing a personal story about your experience with Gunderson, and we'll talk about why philanthropy is important as part of the Gunderson experience as a patient. And so this video will be used for that purpose as well.
Okay.
So we'll want to make sure we introduce you to both audiences in those two contexts. So if we could start by having you say, you know, I'm Candy, I'm Joe, we're the Buchegers, and this is our story, or whatever is comfortable to you in an introduction of letting these people know who you are.
Oh, so we need to say, what, that we're retired, or in our story that way, or?
You could say we've been longtime Gunderson patients.
Oh.
And this is our story.
Okay, yeah. I guess I wished I would have asked, how long have I been a patient here? I know at least 22 years, but longer than that. How old is Dr. Strosa's oldest child? 27 maybe?
Now you're going to be, now you got to think about, you're going to introduce yourself.
I know. And
ready?
So, it's, I'm Candy.
I'm Joe. We're the Buchegers. We've been part of the community since 1970, and we are very much pleased to have been part of the Gunderson family all these years.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's when you're under the roof of Gunderson, as we are now, you're surrounded by such good people. Their ability to take care of you, and they're respectful and caring, and their professionalism. It's just wonderful, and
Right.
It's so easy to give back.
Right. I've been with my wife several times when she's been here, and to watch the staff, the anticipation of the staff, how fast they move, how fast they think, and like when I use the word again, anticipation, seems like you're about ready to say something and they're already moving in that
That's
direction.
true.
And it's been very easy to give back to the Gunderson family, both in several ways. The Children's Miracle Network, or for educational things, or for just the general watching this beautiful facility grow and care for the community. Yes.
Wonderful.
And cancer research, very definitely high on the list too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you share or make a statement to me for the purpose of our video? We've been Gunderson patients, you could say since a certain year, or you could say we've been Gunderson patients for over 20 years. Whatever you feel comfortable. One or the other, or if you both want to have something
She's
to say
been
about
more
that.
patient.
I've certainly been here many more times than he has, that's for sure. I've been a patient here for at least 25 years. When I think back, my first cancer diagnosis was in 1996, 22 years ago. So, and that's why it was so fun to see Dr. Jumenville. I was at my last appointment after radiation to decide what kind of a medication I would get put on. And a nurse,
That was recently.
That was recently, yes.
Cancer.
And this tap on the door, and this nurse puts her head in through the door, and she goes, "Would you like to see Dr. Jumenville?" And we both go, "Oh, yes, absolutely." And so he came in, and it was just a moment of joy. It was just, he was just, we hugged each other. It was just, I think it was, yes, I'm still here, Dr. Jumenville, thanks to you. And, that he absolutely got to witness a patient after 22 years, of treating me. And it was just a moment of joy. There's been lots of moments of joy here.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very definitely.
And I've had minor treatments, but my doctor is Dr. Eklund, and I've had what they call Dupuytren's contraction, and I've had a couple surgeries here, and most recently I had the new shots. And I think the doctor that gave me the shots he was having fun giving me the shots. He says, "This won't hurt." Just kidding. But very, very helpful, and it's really, really been another positive far as the way that they treat you and they look after you and they ask how's it going in the follow-up.
And the expertise that they have given us.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
They're more than doctors and nurses. They're more like your friend, your
Their family, you know.
family.
It's and you feel like you're part of the team. You know, you don't feel like you're sitting on a pedestal and everybody's looking at you. You're part of the team. You're
And I'm sure they're tired from time to
sharing.
time. I'm sure they have families that they want, but
Yes.
they just seem to be able to treat the patient at the time
absolutely.
in a very, very together way.
Mm-hmm.
And they have lives as well that they're living, so it's great. It's great to see.
Wonderful, thank you.
And they have moments too where my last chemo in 1996, I happened to be in the hospital New Year's Eve for it. And a nurse came through and she was checking on me, and then, I don't know, she came through about 10 to 12 and she says, "Would you like to walk down to the window and watch the fireworks, you know, for New Year's Eve?" And I thought, that was really special. Because, you know, you're in the hospital for New Year's Eve and your family's all home. And so the two of us, arm in arm, walked down to the window and we stood there and watched the lacrosse fireworks. It was great. And that's the special touch that Gunderson gives to their patients.
And when your positive other is in for surgery or something, the way they have the waiting room set up, the staff, it keeps you informed. You can see what's going on at what time. It's just a very, I don't know who puts it all together, but they're thinking about the patient
Yeah.
and the family.
Whoever's in charge of hiring, they do a great job. Amazing job.
Wonderful.
And I'm right here. Here we've got 3 right here.
Yeah, that won't probably make it. It better make it.
It's great. It's great. Okay. So as I go through our questions here, this next one is a big one. So I'm gonna ask you about your experience as a patient and that impact on your life. And Candy, you've had so many things
Mhm.
and experiences with Gunderson that you've come out on top and you've been able to get through those
Yeah.
challenges. So can you, when I asked you this question, help take me through kind of in a sequential timeline of some of the experiences that you've had that have really stuck out to you as far as your care and as far as your health and your experience with Gunderson, okay? So as a patient, what Gunderson experience has had the biggest impact on your life, and what do you remember most about it?
Well, the one I did share with you, you know, the nurse walking me, and they're always there for you. You know, whenever there's a problem or if you've got something going on, you call and you get in right away and you don't wait very long. I mean, it's just, they're very efficient and caring in their efficiency. And they certainly, the respect that they give you, you know, that's what, yeah, I mean, all the words that you can come up with, integrity and respect, it's here, and it's you know, another story that I can tell is one of the times I was in the hospital, I'm not sure if it was a maintenance person that came in or if it was somebody coming for my tray of food. And so we were talking and we were sharing a little stories, and she was very friendly. And she says, "Well, I hope your stay is good." And I says, "Oh, it's been really great." I says, "You know, the only thing that I'm missing is my dark chocolate." And about an hour later, here she comes in with candy bar of dark chocolate. I don't know where she got it, but, you know, and that's the little touches that Gunderson, and it's consistent. It's very consistent. You know, we travel a lot, and we've gone to other health institutions, and Gunderson's 10 steps ahead. You know, it's 20, yes. Yes, with their care. Yes.
You're way ahead in all my questions. You answered all my questions.
Oh, no.
No, it's great. It's great. So you started out.
Just waiting for 1 second. I hear the helicopter outside.
Oh, that
So-
affects your,
Yep. You can hear it in the background a little bit.
oh.
Yeah,
Sure.
hopefully it won't be too long. Sorry.
No
Yeah,
problem.
and I'm assuming we're speaking loud enough,
Oh, yeah,
right? Yeah.
Yep.
I-
That's good.
Oh, I
Put
love
the
this story.
fuzzy cat up there, the cattail.
Yeah.
Call it. Picking everything up.
Oh, good.
You just give us the nod, Kirk.
Yeah, and there was, I don't know if you want me to say it again, but I'll never forget when Candy had the flu prior
Oh.
to and she had the flu for 2 or 3 days, and I couldn't get her to drink water, so I finally got her to drink some, because she's really good at that. And I said, we're going to the doctor Friday morning. She says, I don't know, she's tired. And I says, well, I'm not clean enough, so I says, I'll give you, so I gave her a bath. I hadn't given her a bath. I mean, I hadn't given her a bath in my lifetime. So I gave her a bath, and I brought her down, and then, boy, we sat in a chair, and 30 seconds, they had her right in on a table with an IV. They knew she was dehydrated. And a couple IVs, she got much better, so we went home, and everything was fine again at home. Until that morning, I think I might have told you, I'm getting ready to go to church and serve at, I was a usher at church. And she's dropping bottles of water on the floor, a bottle of water, and, oh, what's that? And, oh, why are all these people in our room? Bedroom. So I called the ambulance. But anyway, when we got back down here that day, I can't remember the nurse that was on call or the doctor that was on call. I wish I wouldn't know, but he immediately looked at the records and he started her on acyclovir,
Whatever, yeah.
acyclovir.
Yeah.
And because he had anticipated, and that was exactly what she needed.
He said, I'm going to put you on this medication before we do the spinal tap, because he says, I'm pretty sure I know what's wrong. And he says the medication won't hurt you, but it'll certainly help you if this is what I think it is.
So that's what she had.
And
for
he
the
saved,
next-
between the ambulance ride, the fast action.
and
of
quick
my
response and stuff.
Amazing husband and
Yeah.
the wonderful doctor, and so I'm
They
here
said
again.
the sooner you got it treated, the better off it would have been, because
Yeah.
that's where a lot of people have permanent damage.
That was viral encephalitis.
Yeah.
And I was
What year was that?
2013.
13.
Yeah, 2013. So, yeah, they saved me again.
Great.
Lots of times. Here I am. Life is like a bicycle. You just have to keep your balance and keep moving. You must keep moving in order to keep your balance, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, so.
Absolutely. Wow. Incredible. The number of things that you've experienced.
And I'm here to talk about it.
You are, and we're
Yes.
so thrilled that you are.
Oh, we're happy to be here to share
Yes.
and give back.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, thank you so much.
yes.
Already I'm just excited. I'm envisioning, I don't know,
Uh-oh.
Kirk probably is too, but I can already see the video in my mind.
Oh.
And how this will come together. So what 3 words would you use to describe the relationship that you have with your care team at Gunderson?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, I just saw 2 of them, and they're like friends. They're Dr. Stroessel. Do I dare? I can say a name? Okay, Dr. Stroessel. I've been going to her for so long, and she's a friend. We run into each other, and the minute she walks through that door, when I'm waiting for her, and that smile on her face, it's just it's wonderful. And that's just the way Gunderson is. They're good listeners. They respect you. They follow up with you. After I was diagnosed with breast cancer, the phone rang in the afternoon, and I picked it up, and here it was Dr. Stroessel. And she says, I'm sorry to hear that you were diagnosed with breast cancer, and if there's anything I can do for you, you know where to find me. And so it's those little moments of joy.
Yeah. And my doctor that I've doctored with for several years now is certainly much younger than myself, but Dr. Eklund, I believe he and his wife both are doctors here. But he, again, is it's just low-key, right? How you doing, Joe? And, bang to bang. Positive, caring, concerned, but not quick take our time, explain any questions you might have,
yes.
anything like that. It's not get out of here right away. It's
Right.
let's take our time. We will walk through these things and it's face to face, eye to eye, not looking at the wall or doing something else. And like I said before, they're definitely, I mean, I know he and his wife have children. I mean, there's other things that are always in the back of any of our minds when we've worked, and that's a working environment, but they're treating people just so one-on-one. So one-on-one.
Good listeners.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
I know again, we're really getting into a lot of the meaning that you carry with you. And so there may be overlap in some of your answers, and that's okay. Why is Gunderson special to you?
Oh, that's a definite overlap, isn't it? Well, you know that they're always here for you. And it's no matter, when you walk through those doors, you know the good care you're going to get. And it's just you're surrounded by caring people. And it's a good feeling.
Well, and it's all of the other things that they do in the community, not only from the medical standpoint, the Children's Miracle Network programs, the giving back to the community.
And stepping out in pink.
Well,
Yeah.
for sure, stepping out in
Yeah.
pink. The many things that they've done in the care that goes out in the community, and so it's very easy for me to give back. Well, the teaching and the education that comes through, easy for us to give back when they asked
yes.
us to help on the new hospital, and it's just not that hard at all when they call. Yes, it's easy to give back.
When Dr. Gunderson calls.
Oh.
It's great. It's
Or
wonderful.
the-
It's a personal touch.
The different phone programs and
Yes.
stuff. It's you can't say no to them. You
Yeah.
can't say no to them. And I'm sure, I shouldn't say this. I'm sure the changes that are taking place with some of the new laws, it's making some people think differently. We're not changing it. We're just giving it in a different way. It's still going to come, but now instead of us writing out a check, it comes directly from our financial people. It's still there. It's going to be still there in the same vein.
Interesting.
Well, you know that.
I do know that.
know that.
It's like, where
You
are
know
you
that.
going with that?
You know what
Of
we've
course I
done
do.
with our.
Of course, absolutely.
We're with.
Absolutely.
So you talked a little bit about this as you were describing why Gunderson is special to you in your giving and what you see and what's special, that it's not just the medical within the four walls here, it's beyond the institution, it's the community, it's the outreach, it's the connectivity. So part of this video that we're going to be using for Heritage is to highlight our community health outreach aspect of our foundation mission. Can you talk a little bit more about why you enjoy giving to those types of programs through the foundation, that community health outreach? You talked about Stepping Out, you talked about Children's Miracle Network. These are programs that are intended to reach outwards, not look inwards. Talk a little bit more about why that's important for a community of this size or a region, to have a medical institution that is thinking broad about community health.
Oh, that's a
Well, as a longtime member of the community, growing up in a small community, the small communities that surround La Crosse, and there's a lot of them, see what Gunderson does. Of course, there's the other institution in town, and we can't, it's okay to mention Mayo Clinic as well. But the positives of all of this is the amount of help that goes back into the community in a non-asking for credit approach. I don't know if I said that right. It's just there. They want to give it. You can see it in the staff. You can see it in the building. You can see it in the community that the outreach is there, and the pride that Gunderson takes in that. It's just hard to explain, but it's easy for me to tell other people if they ever ask, where should we go?
No.
What should we do? How should we do it? Where should I give something this year? Very easy for me to say, to the Gunderson Foundation. They're going to find places that are useful. They're going to find places that are needy, and they're going to do it in a very expedient way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
The
very-
Children's Miracle Network.
oh,
That-
as
we-
one. I mean,
We used to call in when Sally and Ed.
Sally and Ed.
Yeah, that
you
we
know,
started with them a long
way
time
back
ago.
when, and beyond. And,
Yeah, that was. We were so happy to give to that.
And you just look at what your facilities. Look at the facilities in Onalaska.
Yeah,
Look at the facilities in other towns, and the outreach that has taken place.
Yes.
It's if anybody needs to take a peek at where to go for care, go to Gunderson.
Mm-hmm. Very definitely. Had nothing but the best care here.
Yeah.
You know, it's, the only insecurity I have in life, and I don't because how old am I? I don't, is when we leave town, then I know I'm leaving a really good health system. And I'm leaving, and it's like, oh, I hope I don't get ill when I'm on any trip or in need, because I know, it's just not going to be the same at all. So, if there's one insecurity, it's leaving town knowing that Gunderson's here and I'm going to be somewhere else. It's that, we have such strong faith in Gunderson, with our health care.
Yes.
So it's an easy thing to talk about.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that from many people, that they don't like to get too far
Yes.
from Gunderson.
No, that's,
And we even changed our health care. We went to Quartz now, in a sense, instead of, I mean, they're great insurances. That's another good thing
Mhm,
about
it
Gunderson
is.
is the insurance.
Yes.
But where you don't, if you had something serious happen, you'd have to fly back or do it. With the Quartz, you can get coverage somewhere else, at least temporarily. But again, a great insurance program as well they have here. Great insurance.
Yep.
And the interesting thing where I won't mention names, but where we have two of the greatest pharmacists that we deal with, and their relationship with Gunderson is immense. Very good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, crazy guys, but
Well,
good, fun.
we're on a first name basis with our pharmacists, and I think that's another thing that people need to do, is to get to know their pharmacists really well. They're a big leg of your health care also. And,
They speak so highly of Gunderson as well.
They do. And I don't know if we need to share, but it's, yeah.
No, we don't need to share. Well, they can cut it out of here, I suppose.
Yeah, they could cut it out, but,
It's up at the Walgreens on the north side. up
yeah.
on
Mark and Chris, they're the
Mark and
best.
Chris, they're crazy. They're
Yeah.
always concerned, like,
And
and they
Gunderson
communicate with our doctors even. They go that far, so that's great.
Oh,
I mean, that the
yes,
doctors
yes.
communicate back with them. Great relationships.
yeah.
Great relationships.
I think about, the presence Gunderson has in this region, and you talked about having outreach into those smaller communities, and the
Mhm.
impact of quality for life for all, and what that does for health. And when we have health, it's
Oh.
almost more valuable than money or.
Oh, big
Oh.
time.
That quality of life here, and what Gunderson contributes to communities and for people, and that it elevates that
abs-
for all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
You
wish I had
bet.
said that. That's a great
Yeah,
way.
absolutely. That is a good, can he repeat that? No.
Yes, yeah, feel free.
Oh, you mean, yes, the quality of life that's happening here. No, again, you can say it as often as you want, but when you can look around a community and see that the care that it gets because of the quote-unquote care that is given back from Gunderson, it's apparent. And when you talk to other people, that when you're out and about in the community, and I live over by Nutbush city limits, and there's people in there that are needing of health care, and they all, again, speak very, very highly of the care that they get from Gunderson.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Very,
lots
very
of our
much.
friends.
And where they're getting cancer care or heart care or doesn't matter what, they're all very you can sit there and other people be here. Oh yeah, I go there. Yeah, that's a great place. Yeah, they're very caring. So it's
Yeah.
It's not very quietly held in the community. It's very well held in the community about the care we get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So, what do you feel you accomplish when you make a gift to Gunderson Medical Foundation?
Well, I know that I don't have to go down in the basement and hide because I'm not feeling well about it. That won't get down.
No.
What do I feel about, one more time?
What do you feel that you accomplished by giving to Gunderson Medical Foundation?
It didn't take me long to realize that it's a gift that it just comes from the heart, but I know it's going to go someplace, do something, not be covered by an awful lot of quote unquote hierarchy or whatever. That's not the right term. It's not going to be. Most of what I give is going to go directly to the source, not be
It's local.
not
Yeah.
have a lot of overhead that eats it up. It's going to go to the proper sources. It's going to be utilized in the proper way, and be for sure given to the source that you're asked to give. And you can see it in the buildings. You can see it in the community. You can see it in the care that comes from it.
And the wonderful people that work for Gunderson. You just, from walking in the door, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
You're welcomed right away, and it's friendly, and
Right. Another reason why it's so
Mhm.
easy to give back to them
Mhm.
is what you see there.
what they have given back to us, we want to return, so, and hopefully, this message will maybe spur a few more people on, who knows? But it's an easy for us
Easy
to give
for us
back
to-
to them,
Very
to the foundation.
Talk a little bit about that feeling that you just said right
Uh-huh.
there, that we feel they've given so much to us, we want to in turn give to be part of this, or to return to that. We have a program in the foundation called our Gifts of Gratitude, and it's part of a Grateful Patient program. And what
Oh.
we think in a large picture of what's happening here is that it's because of the compassionate and quality care that our patients in our community feel grateful,
That's
and
true.
that they have a desire to express their gratitude through a philanthropic gift to the organization, to be part of what's taking place here.
Mhm.
In watching my wife's care from a husband and a partner, and watching the people give, I know I can remember a minimum of 3 times where I've seen that bunch of nurses and the care they've given, that I've went directly after it's all over and made a committed check or whatever, a commitment to the nurses, and tried to mention their names, as many as I could, a couple different times. That's what makes it so easy to give back. It's just to watch this group of people from whatever level, from the janitors on up, if you will, or however you want to put it. I don't mean to put the janitors down, but everybody has a job that they're hired to do. They all, can I help you to get here and there? But it's so much easy. It's like that from what you see, the care you get. And doctors, every year we're asked to, we're mentioned a doctor. Real easy to say that. Real easy to give back. There's times I wish I gave more. There's times I wish I gave more. But there's other issues in the community we give to as well. So you kind of make
Yeah.
it look, you kind of use it as well as you can.
Gunderson Foundation, though, is our favorite.
It is our favorite.
Yes,
and
it's our favorite.
It's the most, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, and
So-
and it's so easy too with a lot of when the doctors and stuff see you, and then they say, would you want to be giving? And then when they take your arm and put it way up behind your back and say, you're going to give this your right? Just kidding. I mean, there's a sense of humor though. And my point is, there's also a sense of humor. It's not serious, but it's a sense of humor in a positive way. It doesn't always have to be, it's real easy to give because, again, they have a sense of humor back. They're very human.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
it's fun.
fun.
It is fun.
They're very human back.
Absolutely.
And we know other friends in the community that give. and we mention it, and, and some big donors in the community that give it. We're so happy that they are of the nature they are to help the community as well. Great
Yep.
people.
How does it make you feel? And again, we've talked a lot about this, but how does it make you feel when you give, and maybe you come to Heritage or you come to a function for Gunderson Beyond Your Care to celebrate your giving? How do you feel when you're part of that?
I feel humbled just to be, yes, you're part of
Yeah.
it, but it's a humble feeling. There's times when I wish I could say, instead of inviting me this year, call so-and-so, just so they could sit in and see on what's going on as well, or can we double it and bring a friend that's never maybe seen this place before? Little ways
To
of,
experience it, yeah, that's true.
interesting ways that one could,
Well, you sit with that group and it's, you have a great sense of gratitude.
Yeah,
Great
it's-
sense of
yeah.
gratitude.
right. Humble, but humbled in another way that,
Mm-hmm.
that you know that there's a lot of them giving more, but they all just look at you as a grateful giver. That's the part of that's
Mm-hmm.
good. Yeah.
Very much so.
What is one thing that you wish everyone knew about Gunderson and Gunderson Medical Foundation?
Wow. Oh, you needed to put these questions. It's like, oh dear. I know. There's so many things going in my head, and it's
I
like,
don't think everyone realizes the effort that Gunderson gives to give back. I don't think that crosses a lot of people's mind. I don't think that they, I think there's some people that say, sure, I'll give, and I don't know where it's going to go, but I think they have to take a real serious look at the way Gunderson approaches their philanthropic approach to things, and
and it's always going to stay in the community. That's, so it's going to benefit all of our friends and neighbors and everybody in the community and beyond.
So I
It's,
think
whenever I've been here and if I've met somebody new and I'm curious and I'll ask, well, where did you grow up and where do you live? We get into a conversation, and I've always been amazed at how many miles people commute to work here. And that's a good sign that they enjoy working here. They like working here. So it's not only coming from us, it's coming from the working staff also. And I think you get that. That's where you get the feeling of,
That's another good point. All of the people behind the
Mhm.
scenes, that's a great point, Candy.
Mm-hmm.
The people behind the scenes that do so much for the community as well, and for the city, and for the hospital,
Yes.
for the people that come to the hospital. Yeah.
Yep. They work hard to get here. Some of them do.
Well,
and with
you know,
this
you-
winter, I can't imagine.
You make a phone call.
With all
and
the
sometimes
snowstorms.
you can be 45 minutes pushing buttons, but not for this facility.
Yep, very true.
It's a very fast approach to getting to your doctor. And if you have a question for a doctor, and it goes to
Mhm.
the nurses station approach, and they'll get back to you within, I think it's 3 hours, and they're always getting back to you. And if they try one phone and they don't, they might leave it on your phone and your cell phone, and that's really positive, really very positive.
Mhm.
So what would I tell anybody in the community? Just the approach that they take, the approach that Gunderson doctors, nurses, administration, people in the background approach to the way they give back to the community, how they're going to take care of you but give back to the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with their wonderful care. Wonderful care. Can't complain about the care here, for sure.
What would you say to encourage others to make their first gift to Gunderson?
Don't hesitate.
Don't hesitate. Make it. If you think you have to start small, that's fine. But ask someone else that might have been a giver, that is a giver, and feel the positiveness of the gift. feel, you're not gonna, it's not gonna, it doesn't have to be big, small, can be anything you want to give, but try it. Try it, see the feeling you get, and then after you give it, think about it for a while and do a little research and watch and see do a little research as to where some of this money is going to go, how they approach it, how they utilize it inside the facility. Ask a few questions. Call them. What did the money that I gave go to? What did I do with it? What did you do with it? Did you like it? And you're always going to get the thank you, but just that follow-up maybe if you feel a little bit leery, but once you start giving, you will feel positive about giving, and again, it depends on the size and on the base of your whatever. But if you've been blessed over the years with a good income, a good family, a good lifestyle, and some positive care from Gunderson, by all means, turn around and give some back.
Very nice. If a donor, your donors, there's a lot of donors to Gunderson and to the foundation who've been giving like you for a lot of years, who have been with us through the evolution of healthcare
Yeah,
and
yes.
of this community and region. But if there was a donor with you today, what would you say to them?
A fellow donor, huh? Well, it would be, don't we support a great medical facility? Don't we, we know they care a lot, and it's I don't know, I'd have to start all over, but I got to think about that.
Well,
If I had,
would,
let's see, we've talked with other friends.
well, right, and we've got some friends that we know our legacies here. Is that the right word? Their names are on a lot of things. We have our names on a few things, but I would challenge them to say, "What are you going to give this year?" And he's going to respond with X, and I'm going to say, "Holy cow, I wish I could give that much." No, no.
Encourage, you encourage.
Absolutely, the
them.
encouragement. But you say, what would I say to another donor? Isn't it fun to see what's the results of
Yes.
our giving? Isn't it fun? Isn't it? Fun might be a term, but
Very
isn't it also
gratifying, very gratifying.
the gratification of seeing what we
Yes.
give,
Knowing
and
that
seeing that others as well give.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
It's going to a great place, and the money will be well used.
Right.
It's so we have no great regrets about giving to Gunderson at all. And I'm not afraid to share my story of the different health issues that I've had over the years. And it's so easy to tell the stories because of the great care that I've received here. And so, I've answered lots of questions, and and I hope that feeling that you get from Gunderson, that I can share that feeling with my friends and whoever has a question about, something in regard to health, and I encourage them, come to this institution because you're going to get nothing but the best care.
Right.
So it's an easy place to give to because of everything that has
Yeah.
been given to us.
And
Here we are, right?
Well, but I mean, we've been out at a Heritage Night function, or there's been other functions that we've been at. We've walked we've done cancer walks, the Onalaska Cancer Walk, the Stepping Out in Pink Cancer Walk, as an example. It's almost to me, we ought to have more of those for other cancers. I mean, the Stepping Out in Pink is great, and it's been such a positive for the breast cancer is a large, obviously, in the women's health situations. But I mean, we should have one of these about every 2 weeks. We should be walking somewhere. I mean, that might be a little bit.
Well, I think we
more,
should be
but-
playing pickleball.
Well, whatever. But giving back in many different ways is
We are having pickleball tournaments once we get enough courts built.
for
You're going to be playing pickleball. You're laughing now. You
I'm
fun.
open to it.
Yeah.
you do.
I played.
Oh, you
Yeah.
play?
I played it before, yeah.
Oh,
That's okay.
and where? middle school or high school?
No, just, there's a couple of courts, off, is it, Cliffside Drive?
Yes.
That park there, I can't think of the name of the park.
Yep.
In Alaska or lacrosse?
In
Lacrosse,
lacrosse.
Yeah, lacrosse, yes.
Yeah, we were playing tennis one night and somebody had
Yes.
balls, that's, we just played a pickup game.
Oh, good. That's how you get addicted.
But so easy to be with another giver, another party that's involved in giving back.
We all feel very secure with our medical care.
Well, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
and we all
And-
feel very positive, and when you give something, it's going somewhere to do something. It's not just, how do I want to say it? This can be,
Yeah.
so we're not real big givers. We're givers to the Salvation Army, but we're not real big givers to the Goodwill, because Goodwill's got such a bureaucracy of upper people that, when you find out you might give them $1,000 and 300 of it goes to somewhere, the other 700 went to administration.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the way it should be. And that's why I like how Gunderson approaches it, and like we give to the Salvation Army as well, because you can see it's going to the right causes.
Mm-hmm. Locally,
Yeah,
it's locally.
That's why I like
Yeah.
Gunderson. Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about legacy. You mentioned legacy. And I think that's an important area to touch upon, because I've been with the foundation 8 years, and one of the areas I've been real involved with in the last 4 has
Mhm.
been our planned giving, or our estate
Mhm.
legacy area of donors, and working with donors on those gifts and designating gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about our Legacy Society is to look at all of those who have gone before us, but who have designated something in their
Yes.
plans
Yes.
to benefit Gunderson, and all of those who are still yet here with us, who have an intention to
Mhm.
leaving something.
That's our
Mhm.
intention. We're definitely going to do that. Certainly,
Mhm.
we have we have a son and a daughter with the husband. They each have a husband and wife. They're happily married, very successful young people. Yes, we want to leave money to our children and grandchildren, but there's going to be, the more we see them grow and gain, we're going to have something. But we're definitely having a big legacy designation to the Gunderson Foundation. I don't think we're going to specifically say where it's going to go. Let them put it somewhere. I think it's a very positive thing. If you've got the money to give back, it's another way to give it back. Another way to have it designated to give back.
Thank you so
I
much
agree.
for doing that.
Absolutely.
I think, again, thinking about those who come before us and those
Yes.
who have made intentions for the future, when I think about what those gifts do, it's almost like it's a fabric of care for one another. And when you think about
Absolutely.
a person working their lives, the outcome of that hard work to live a life is money. The purpose is not money, but the outcome is money.
Mm-hmm.
And when you designate that to give to an organization like Gunderson, that's just the most pure
It's-
expression of love.
It
It
and
is.
care for one
It
another.
absolutely is.
And it's people like
Yes.
yourself and Debbie and the gentleman we've just met here. You can see it in the way that you approach things, and how you've, it's not that hard to believe when the people that are talking to you are talking earnestly and honestly, not, like, it's not up here.
Sincerely.
There's a
Yeah.
sincerity
Yep.
that works with it. You can see it in the people.
Mhm.
Positive that you should continue to do what you're doing.
Yep.
Very positive.
You feel
Very easy to give back.
comfortable, very
Yeah.
comfortable, yes.
Very
You know,
easy.
the farmer, the single farmer that gave his whole farm and everything, that was an amazing story. You know, and that's just one of the many different people that have given. You know, that was really a neat story. I enjoyed that one. You know, to think, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, giving back. You know, we were raised, our families were givers.
Farm.
You know, you're either a giver or a taker. I shouldn't say that maybe, but, and, we're brought up to be givers. And so we are so happy to be able to give, so that we have a legacy to give. of some sort, so that's makes it all worthwhile. That's what life's all about.
Right.
It's you want to give back. And so this interview is giving back. This is not something that we get to do every day, and so it's like, oh,
Right.
So appreciate your time and willingness.
oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely. It's been fun. It's been fun. And I hope we don't sound too stupid.
No, it's brilliant. It's wonderful, and I can already see the
Aw.
pieces coming together. I do want to just round back though, in regards to the facets of your care, Candy. I think this is something that our viewers,
Mhm.
both through Heritage and through our year-end group, should hear. If you could, on a high level, just kind of talk about the first and then subsequent experiences of your cancer care, but then the encephalitis experience, kind of on
Oh,
a
yes.
timeline. Starting in 1996, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Your
And
fallopian tube cancer.
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it was fallopian
Yeah.
tube, yes.
Could you kind of start from the beginning
Sure.
to give us a context for just what you've been through?
Sure, absolutely. In 1996, I went to Dr. Stroessel, my regular doctor, and I had been dealing with this medical issue, and so she suggested that I go see a surgeon, Dr. Jill Davidson. And so I went to Jill, and she suggested surgery. And it was the beginning of summer, and I'm thinking, oh boy, I don't want to think about having surgery all summer, so I'm gonna do it right now. And so I had surgery, and I'm home, sitting on the deck reading a book, recuperating from the surgery, and she calls, and she says, we found a little cancer. And of course, that was totally unexpected. And she said, so we need to do another surgery. And so then after that, I had another surgery, and that was it was fine. They didn't find any other cancer. It just happened to be that one of the fallopian tubes had cancer on it. So from Dr. Davidson, I was assigned to Dr. Jumenville, my oncologist, and he was just a really great person to be assigned to. There was one time I was sitting in the waiting room waiting to get in for, I don't know if it was an infusion or exactly what it was, and I remember I was not feeling real great, and he came through the waiting room and he stopped, and he came over and he sat by me and he says, not doing so hot today, huh? And I go, no, not really. He says, well, you hang in there. He says, you're going to be just fine. And just those moments that you have at Gunnarsson, and that was one of them. And so then he had wanted me to start chemo the first week of September. Well, I asked him, I said, oh, I can't start then because that weekend we had 4 Packer tickets, and we were going to a Packer game with our family. And he sat and he looked at me, and then he shuts his eyes, and he puts up both hands, and he goes, quality, quantity, quality, quantity. And he's thinking to himself, and he says, okay, he says, you go to the Packer game. So we went to the Packer game, and we had our last family outing, and it was great. It was wonderful. And I was ready, then to, begin the chemo. But I was always forever grateful because, my kids were, they were concerned about their mom, and, and so we had one great weekend together, and it was.
And that came out
And that came out very well.
after your, what were you, 9 months in chemo? What was that?
No, from September to December 31st.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, New Year's Eve.
And then she was, then we went on a trip to Toronto, Canada, and up into Canada, long
we
trip
went all around the Great Lakes.
Great
That was
Lakes,
fun.
with her short hair. And so then you get better, and then when was the next
Well,
one?
that,
When was
you know,
the
my
next-
short hair, it was so funny because he's no longer with us, but he was a great doctor. He was one of my favorites, Dr. Rick Renwick. And I saw him after I was done with chemo. And so I went into his office and I had a wig on. And he says, wow, he says, your hair, it's grown back pretty darn nicely. And I go, yeah, I says, yeah, it really has. And I took my hand and I flipped the wig. And he had the look of surprise. And then we both started laughing, you know, because it landed in his lap. And it was just one of those, another moment. You know, he was another great doctor. And so then from 96, let's see, the next one coming up, I was healthy for quite a while, until 2013. And I think we talked about going into, because I wasn't feeling well, and then the ambulance ride, and then the quick action of the emergency room doctor, and in the hospital for a week. And this dear, amazing husband, he gave me IVs at home. I had to be on an IV for, what, 31 days?
28 days. I
28
think.
days?
Three a day, every 8
Yeah.
hours.
So,
And the first week or so, she didn't even know, why are we doing this, you know? And then she kept coming back, so
very, very
Anyway,
true.
why are you doing
So that
this?
was 2013, and we got through that very successfully with all the wonderful help from Gunnarsson, and it was really nice because they would call, they would be concerned, and they would call and make sure, you know, if he had any questions about the IV and so on, and if they needed somebody there, they would have been there, which was great.
Yeah, I remember. And then about the
Mhm.
fourth or fifth day, I said, the IV isn't working right. We came back in and it had malfunctioned, so they put a new PIC line in. So, I mean,
It was just like boom,
that.
boom, boom, and so they sent us on our way again.
And then when was the,
And then, so that was 2013. 2014 was good. 2015, I had a bladder infection, and that was taken care of. And then I had another bladder infection, and that was medication taken care of. And then I got the third, what I thought was the third one, and they said, no, there's no indication of that you have a bladder infection. And so, and then from there, they decided to do further testing. And they did an MRI, and sure enough, there was a little tumor in my left kidney. And so I was scheduled right away for surgery. I mean, it's, you know, when they know that you need to have surgery, you are given priority, definitely, and put in to the schedule. And so I had the left part of my left top of my left kidney taken out, and that was 2015. And then, so then 2016 was good.
Needed no radiation or chemo?
No, they
or
caught it
they
early. You know, so, you know, that's one thing that Gunnarsson taught me was preventativeness. You know, you need to be a step ahead of things and always make sure, come in for your physical. And if there is anything wrong, be sure and share it with if there's something not quite right, you know it, but the only way your doctor is going to know it is if you share it with them. And they listen well, and they, you know, and so from that point, you know, my kidney cancer was caught very early. And so that was 2015, and then last year, I was in my annual physical with Dr. Stroessel, and then I went downstairs for my mammogram, and I'm sitting there waiting, and then I got called into with a radiologist, and he's got a side-by-side picture of my last year's mammogram and this year's mammogram. And he pointed out to me, you know, the change. And he says, you know, I think we need to look at that a little further. You know, he said, you know, it's small, but he said, still, I think we need to look into that a little more. And so I had, what's the word? I can't think of it now. You know, where they do a...
Lumpectomy?
No, where they do the lab, you know, they take an incision out. What am I trying to say, Debbie?
Biopsy?
Yes, they did well, kind of, well, it's,
It was a.
they go
bi-
in to get the specimen of, so what would you call that?
Some
It's a
kind
biopsy.
A biopsy, yeah. So he suggested a biopsy. And then from the biopsy, I get the phone call that, it was cancerous. And so right away, they set me up, for surgery. And, I had a lumpectomy. And then the follow-up with the 33 radiation treatments. And honestly.
But then they had a real nice, she went from I can say it, 36 Cs to 34 Bs. And they were, she really
I
liked
had
that.
breast reduction
Breast
also.
reduction also,
And they
so-
suggested that because that would be less tissue.
Real nice plastic
you're-
gal.
Yeah,
she
that
did
you're
a
gonna
great
get,
job.
right. And it was something they suggested, because there's less tissue there to get cancer. So, it's
Then
interesting
radiation.
because, I sat down with the, doctor before the surgery, and she wanted to make sure. She says, "Are you sure you would still like to do this?" She says, "We don't, it's not necessary, but, it's for blah, blah, blah." And so I was convinced definitely that, I wanted that surgery. And she was telling me that it would improve my lifestyle, and it did improve my lifestyle. So, and it was she just wanted to make sure that we had that last final before surgery. And so, I had a lumpectomy and then the 33 radiation treatments. And, it was driving in every day and you had lots of time to think. And then you would get here and the person coming out to get you with a smile on her face and friendly. And I, that last treatment that I said, it's going to be really hard. I said, I'm probably just going to have to drive in and say hello to you anyway because you become so much of a part of my life and my family. And the smiles and the encouragement that you have given me. And, that's.
Don't they, on your last treatment, don't they have a big hurrah and everybody?
And I rang the bell,
You
yes.
have to ring the bell?
Yes, that was fun. Very fun. But, there was one time, though, that I had even more fun. It's when I brought in my pickleball paddles to Dr. Gold and his assistant. Did I tell you that already? Because I had talked, the first question out of my mouth was when I found out I was needed surgery was, well, how long before it'll be, that I'll be able to play pickleball again? And they both look at me and they go, "Pickle what?" It's like pickleball. And so I tried to explain it. So then the next time I came in to meet with them, I brought my 2 pickleball paddles and a pickleball. And before you know it, the 2 of them were batting the ball back and forth in the office. And they liked it. So I'm hoping, that I'm going to see them on the courts. Along with you and you and you. It's a great sport. It really is. So, and they brought me, that's every time they've made me well, and I got to go back to the game of pickleball and, keep myself active and, lots of good experiences here.
Candy, tell me how all of these health challenges has changed your outlook on life.
Wow. Well, it's, your life does certainly change. And, you definitely have an optimistic attitude, more so, and you don't let the little things bother you. And, I always, I grace each day with thanks. You just, you have immense gratitude for that you're still here and that with all the great medical care and great supportive family and friends and relatives and, it's good. It's good. It's sometimes when I look back, and I don't very often, I look ahead. But it's amazing, that some of the things that I went through that, here I am, by the grace of God, here I am. And, so it's life is fun, and every day I find joy in life. Whether it's opening up the blinds in the morning and if it's a foggy day like it was the other day, it's like you appreciate it. That's what it's all about. You don't let it get you down. You just, again, grace each day with thanks. And
Joe, how has Candy's health health challenges changed your perspective on life?
Well, you take them all as best you can in stride, but it's also made me more cognizant over the years. I don't look at every morning or anything like that, but
Not like me.
but you ask how you're feeling and things like that, and it certainly has changed her sleeping. You know, she can't sleep like she used to. She takes medication to sleep, which all of the things I can understand would create those kinds of things. But she's just as much fun as she ever was. She's fun to be around. She's just as bossy as she ever was.
Oh, dear.
Just kidding.
No, you aren't.
No, just kidding. We have a lot of friends that we do things with, and and family, the kids and stuff. I mean,
We walk together and bike together and golf together, and you know, it's just
about
been
the only
a
thing I
fun-
don't have to play is pickleball with her all the time, because she's very, very hard on you and stuff.
Oh, no.
You know, if you don't play hard, you get hit with the paddle.
No.
And stuff like that.
No,
but
no.
other than that, it's
Oh,
good.
gosh.
But overall, you deal with your life deals you what it does, and how you accept the challenges is how you, as we move forward. And she's done a very good job of accepting them, and so that gives me a reason to accept them with her. And it's a life-changing experience, certainly, but something that you live with and you move on. I mean, and in her case, a lot of people, and I'm going to get hit. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're out with your daughter again today, huh?" So,
for heaven's
all the
sakes.
things that she's been through, she doesn't look 72 years old, and we'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
And it's
really.
clear you have humor in your life.
Oh,
and your
absolutely.
relationship, and
Oh,
that's
absolutely. You know, when we took the marriage commitment, how many years? 49, it'll be 49 years. It was a commitment, and it's been fun. It has been fun. You know, and it's, he's been with me through all kinds of different things, you know. What is the wedding vow? Through sickness and in health?
Yep.
Yes. And so we've been there for each other, and we're good buddies.
Yeah, we're good buddies.
Yeah, we are.
That's,
I can tell that.
you have to be good buddies, because
Yeah.
And we've only had, I think it's 27,000 arguments or something like that.
Oh, no.
But they always come, you know, it always comes through.
No, 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 no.
If I agree that I'm wrong, then we're okay. Just kidding.
Debbie needs to go get a broom.
Debbie says, I hope this is over pretty soon. This is long enough.
Well, and we are at the end of the close of our questions for you today. But I do have some things I'd like for you just to make statements of that will plug into the end of
Oh,
the
boy.
video. And we do this for all of our people who interview with us for our year-end campaign. And so here's a couple statements that I'd like for one or both of you, or you can alternate to share. Could you say, perhaps together, we're the Buchegers, and this is why we give to Gunderson Medical Foundation? And so you could, so one or the other could
and
say
then you'd say why we give to, or just that we.
So that's just, you don't answer, it's not a question, it's just
Okay.
a statement.
It-
We're the Buchegers,
Mhm.
and this is why
Oh,
we
to fill- yeah,
give
okay.
to Gunderson Medical Foundation.
Oh,
Ready? We're the Buchegers, and this is why we give to the Gunderson Medical Foundation.
Could you repeat that? Look right at me,
Okay.
you look right at
And then-
me. You say, Joe, you say it, and we'll do another take, and Candy, you'll say that.
okay, then I'm Candy Bucheger, and this is why we give back to Gunderson? Wow. Oh, I mean, there's
we're
not
the-
enough words that
We're-
can
no,
describe
just wait now.
it.
She doesn't want that. She just wants a
I
short.
know,
Just
I
this.
know.
We're the Buchegers, and this is why we give back to the Gunderson Medical Foundation. Thank you.
We'll do it again. Candy, you say
Okay.
it this time.
Okay.
Both of you look right at me.
Okay. I'm Candy Bucheger.
No, we're the
Oh,
Buchegers.
we're the
Come on, come
Buchegers,
on,
I'm
Candy.
sorry.
Gotta be thinking here. That's
This is the
I guess
hardest
I'm getting
part.
tired here.
Okay.
We're the Buchegers, and this is why we give back to the Gunderson
Okay.
Medical Foundation. That's all
Okay.
you say.
All right, thank you. We're the Buchegers, and this is why we give back to the to
Gunderson Medical
Foundation. Okay, now I'll say it over again. We're the Buchegers, and this is why we give back to Gunderson Medical Foundation.
Very good.
Okay.
We're the Buchegers,
Uh-huh.
and this is why we give back to the Gunderson Medical Foundation. Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Now could you say, we'll do both takes, looking right at me. Thank you for supporting Gunderson Medical Foundation.
Thank you for supporting
Oh.
Gunderson Medical Foundation.
Okay.
One more time.
Okay. Thank you for supporting Gunderson Foundation. Or maybe a little more enthusiastically.
Thank you for supporting Gunderson
supporting.
Medical
Oh,
Foundation.
thank you for supporting Gunderson Medical Foundation.
I'll do it again.
Okay. Thank you for supporting medical, oh my gosh, my mind is getting tired. You know, I find,
Thank you.
that's one thing, the viral encephalitis, it has taken away some of that,
That's okay.
whatever.
Just thank you for supporting Gunderson Medical Foundation. Don't worry about it. Just think about it before you start.
Thank you for supporting
Gunderson
Gunderson
Medical
Medical Foundation, yes.
Okay.
Thank you for supporting Gunderson Medical Foundation.
Thank you for supporting Gunderson Medical Foundation.
I know, I'm not saying it,
Be quiet when
No,
I'm
you
done.
got it.
oh,
You got it. You did it perfect.
I
Well,
did?
Joe, say it one
One
more
more
time.
time.
Okay.
You-
Right at
you
me.
look at- Don't say nothing this time. Thank you for supporting Gunderson Medical Foundation.
okay.
Okay. And lastly, could you say a statement of thank you in your own words? So I just had you say thank you for supporting Gunderson Medical Foundation. You say thank you to those watching in your own words.
Oh, wow.
Just a
Debbie, you
second.
didn't say it was going to be this difficult. Oh.
Thank you, everyone, for let me start over.
Yeah, I know.
Can I mention that they're watching or not? No.
No.
How
No,
did you put it?
Just a statement, I think, but,
Okay.
wow.
I give to the Gunderson Medical Foundation because I find it to be one of the most gratifying ways that we give money back to the community. We give back to many sources, but the Gunderson Medical Foundation is by far one of them that we feel the proudest to give back to.
Perfect. Last tagline. Gunderson Medical Foundation, where your generosity changes lives. Gunderson Medical Foundation, where your generosity changes lives.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, you got a little
No,
cheat.
no, I got it.
Huh?
One more time, say it.
Gunderson Medical Foundation, where your generosity changes lives.
Gunderson Medical Foundation, where your generosity saves many lives. One more time.
Yep.
Gunderson Medical Foundation, where your generosity saves many lives. One more time.
Do you want to have them combined to say it, like have Candy say Gunderson Medical Foundation, and Joe says for your generosity?
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
You
that.
start that.
So I started out
You
with
just said
Gunderson
Gunderson
Foundation.
Medical Found-
Why am I doing that? Oh, okay, all right.
Right here.
So Gunderson Medical Foundation,
Where your generosity saves many lives.
yeah.
Perfect.
And if you need us to do something more, we can come back.
No, this
No,
is good. We
it's
have
good.
it. That was it.